We're going to make a quick little video here about the sort of debacles that spiral and snowball out of control, and just so interesting to me how you could know as much as I know, and I certainly don't know half as much as somebody twice my age, and you try to hedge bets and get ahead of things, and you still just get completely fucked. But this is the manifold or distribution block for the hydraulic controls for this backhoe, and these are all the hoses. They are 1/4 inch, and they all run down through here and up into the arm, you know, for various cylinders. One of them was extra long for some reason, and I only discovered that when I removed him because he got pinched and broken and started to leak. And I'm thinking now that someone wasn't careful about how much hose they needed, and by leaving too much, he ended up getting in the way of something and broke. So I needed to replace a hose. So I read on the side of these here. You can't see them, but I read on the existing hose, 1/4 inch ID, 3,250 psi, and I took the old one with me. But I called ahead to the local hydraulic and fabricator and snowplow distributor and stuff, and he said, oh yeah, we can do 1/4 inch. I went down there and he took a look, and he came back from his shop and he said, well, this is 1/4 inch hose, but it's swedged onto 3/8 because this is it's just a male thread on there. The connector spins. These are free. Well, it would be, sorry, it'd be freewheeling there if it wasn't so rusted, but it you know, so I don't need to turn anything, and you can't turn the hose into a pretzel threading it up because the female portion does the tightening. However, just to get the thing out of here, I had to manipulate it around with its own control, so it's hooked up to the machine hydraulics here, and I forget why I didn't have it right on there. For some reason, I'd have been better off leaving it mounted on the machine, because then I could pick things up and set them down, and it wouldn't be floundering around on the ground under its own weight, which is what happened now. But they give you this little window on both sides, through which to loosen, because this is our little connection down in there, the hydraulic connection from various angles. But I did have to manipulate this thing to get it swung up and down into the center of the window enough so I could get a pair of wrenches on there and back it off. So we did all that fiddling around. We went all the way down to the local person. He saw the hose. He said, I can't swedge 3/8 NPT, National Pipe Thread is what that is. Notice it has a taper, so it gets down, it threads in, and eventually runs in and cinches up and becomes tight. Although you do put Teflon tape or a liquid sealer product on there. If you put Teflon tape, you want to be careful not to do what I did here and get any of it over the end so that it gets sucked around into the system. You don't want any debris in your hydraulic system. And so we got all back here. We got it all weaseled down in and around. And taking it out was easy because I just pulled it and it came out. But I had to go down in that hole and come back out. So I had to run home after doing all this running around. Oh, I beg your pardon. So after the local guy couldn't put 3/8 fittings on 1/4 inch hose, I ran all the way up, I don't know, maybe 40 minutes away after calling ahead to a specialist hydraulic supplier that makes hoses while you wait, and he put my 3/8 fitting on my 1/4 inch hose, which is what the machine calls for. And I came back and threaded it around, could not get it back up and out of there, so I had to run back home and get my little Grabberooski. This has got a syringe end, and if you watch the other end of it, this little model has a light that it's Chinese, so it doesn't always work, not because it's made in China, but really the button should get the light to come on so you can see where you're at, but these little hooks, come on you bastard, there it is. Ooh, story of my day. These little hooks come out and go back inside. Simple scenario. Anyway, I had to go get him, come back, reach down in, and send the hose over in there where I could see it, grab it, pull it up and out of there, and then I got all set to happy, happy, joy, joy, success, put us into the block again, and I can't get lined up in this way with that fitting because I can't swing this swedged guy in between this hex elbow and then turn it to this angle. It won't go in there. Will not fit because you notice this assembly is smaller and lighter, and it was made that way just for this. Well, who knows? Probably not just for this, but it was selected for this application. And so they may be unable to do any better for me here. $68. $68 made to order. This is ordinary steel. It will rust eventually. This is ordinary stainless braided with UV stabilized rubber outside. You could have stainless exterior with Teflon inside, which is 2 or 3 times as much money for the hose. You can get stainless ends, which is 2 or 3 times as much. This has been $150 if I wanted to go stainless, which as a little boutique piece of machinery, I'd like to think someday I'll blast it all, give everybody a fresh coat of paint, new stickers, nice fresh hydraulic hoses. I'll probably stick to the black rubber, but I'll probably go with stainless ends. Anyway, I looked at what that would cost, but here we are after going to the local place and then back and then up far away and then back, and however we resolve this, which probably they'll say this is what you asked us to do, so go pound salt. So we spent our whole day, unbillable time, fixing machinery, and $68 plus the gas and wear and tear on the vehicle, and have nothing to show for it other than going to school on this, and to remember to always check every single feasible thing you can check. So now we're going to go to the hardware store, and we're going to get a 3/8 NPT street elbow of some sort and just swing out of here so I can hook this up and go back to work with it this evening because my girlfriend works late and I have nowhere else to be. And we'll go to the box store because they're open after 5. And I don't want to even say that I'm going to solve this problem because we'll probably run into another thing that we can't remedy today. But let's not be too negative. I'll just, I guess, leave that there. I thought it was funny. Thought some of you may be able to commiserate. This is where the time goes. I told you in another video that I do 4 10s on my primary project and 1 10-hour day on my secondary project. I get my 5 10-hour days a week. But here's a whole day unpaid on this project, and I didn't get to my other project. Sometimes this stuff pays, and people get frustrated. Clients are frustrated, you know, with where you were all day. If it's more applicable to actually working on their project, and they didn't see you on site. But I don't charge for my own stuff when it breaks down, and I have to fix it if I can help it. So, all right, catch you guys on the flip.